A woman with an inflated ego thinks it's unfair to order ahead online and demands I stand in line, even though my drink is already prepared and paid for. I'm 28. There's a Starbucks conveniently located near my psychologist's office, and over the past few months I've gotten into the habit of grabbing some sweet concoction there before my session. I know full well that a 400-calorie coffee made of syrups and whipped cream isn't real coffee, but these occasional $10 coffee milkshakes are my little treat. They help me get through the tough hours on my path to self-improvement. Yesterday morning, heading to another session with my psychologist, I showed rare foresight. I decided to avoid the impending lunch rush and ordered my drink ahead through the app. The timing worked out perfectly. 10 minutes later, I walked into the cafe just as the barista was putting the final touches on my pumpkin spice cold brew. The girl called my name. I happily bounced to the counter, but as I reached for my precious coffee nectar, I felt a manicured hand with perfect nails gently land on my forearm. The woman it belonged to looked about 35. She exuded polish and professionalism. Impeccably pressed linen suit, flawless makeup, and a tight high ponytail. Delicate gold jewelry dangled from her wrist and neck, and a shiny designer logo on her leather bag subtly hinted at wealth and power. The only signs of her ego were her nose tilted toward the sky, and an aura of confident superiority that made her seem taller than everyone, though she was actually a few centimeters shorter than me. For convenience, let's call her Beelzebub, or just the devil incarnate. The smile she gave me seemed almost genuine, but her tone was sweet and condescending, like she was gently guiding a foolish child to the truth. "This is yours?" I frowned, not understanding. At first, I think it might be a mistake and look at the cup with my name on it. "Oh, sorry, do you have the same name as me?" "I'm pretty sure this is my drink." "What did you order?" "No, that's not my name. Mine is a much longer name, nothing like yours." And I ordered a matcha with soy milk, very hot, with 2 pumps of vanilla. Even more confused, I say, "Oh, well then, sorry, but this is definitely not yours. Maybe ask the barista if yours is taking long, or just wait until something green appears." I reach for my drink again to leave, but she tightens her grip on my arm, and her smile starts to crack. "I didn't say it was my drink. I said it's not yours. I saw you. You just walked in and grabbed the first cup you saw. You can't do that. Get in line and order like everyone else." "Ah, I see the misunderstanding. I ordered through the app ahead of time so it would be ready when I arrived. This is my order. Here, look, I have the confirmation email." I pull my arm free and show her the email, clearly stating, "My order paid, placed about 12 minutes ago." I smile apologetically, reach for the coffee, and then she bares her teeth and forcefully shoves my hand away. "No, you can't just barge in here and take it. I don't care if it's your drink. It's not fair. You just arrived and have to wait until we've all been served." The back of my hand burns with a red mark, and I stand there mouth agape, unable to believe a stranger just slapped my hand over something so trivial. There are already about 8 people waiting for their drinks and another dozen in line to order. She seriously thinks I should stand and wait for everyone to be served, even though my coffee is ready, just for her twisted sense of justice. Yeah, right. I lock eyes with the weary barista, whose forced smile barely hides the scars of 1,000 similar battles etched on her face and in her dulled eyes. Sighing in irritation, she comes over to see what commotion we've caused in the middle of the lunch rush hour. I turn to her. "What the hell?" "Don't touch me. Are you crazy, barista?" "Yes, we have a problem here. I just wanted to pick up my drink, and this crazy woman stopped me and slapped my hand. She just arrived. She needs to wait. It's not fair to those of us actually standing in line. She can't just walk in and grab the first cup. Tell her to wait." The barista looks at me with cold eyes. "Miss, you need to get in line and order a drink. You can't just take someone else's. This is my drink. I already explained to this woman. I ordered through the app and it was ready when I got here. Here's the confirmation email. And the name on the cup, see? Grande cold brew with pumpkin spices. Add 1 shot of vanilla in my name." The barista quickly checks my phone and the cup, confirms my words, and turns to Beelzebub. the same astonishment in her eyes as in mine. "Miss, this is indeed her drink." "This girl paid for it. I don't care if she paid. I'm standing here waiting for my drink like everyone else." She should wait too. There shouldn't be special treatment. "Miss," this woman ordered ahead, and it was prepared in the order it came into the system. Her order wasn't processed in the line. Some drinks take faster, others longer. But we don't prioritize anyone. You can use the app too to avoid waiting in line in the future. Sorry for the delay. We're busy right now, but you can't interfere with other customers picking up their orders or use physical force. Please step aside and let others get their drinks. Yours will be ready soon, or I'll have to ask you to leave. No, I want my drink, and I want her to wait until everyone else in line gets theirs. Do your job and make my matcha. She'll wait. I don't care if her drink is ready. She still has to wait. I'm the barista. Actually, I'm running late for an appointment. Can I just take my coffee? And she hit me. There's a mark on my hand. Maybe call security? She's clearly not right in the head. Yes. I think that's best. Strangely, up to this point, Beelzebub hadn't even raised her voice much, just looked down on us both from her imaginary pedestal with that calm, irritably lecturing tone like a teacher scolding a naughty student. Of course, she was sure she was right, and we were obligated to learn the lesson. But as soon as the barista confidently handed the cup into my outstretched hand, Beelzebub's flawless face twisted into a mask of pure rage. Her voice didn't scream, but it rang with icy fury. She turned to the poor minimum wage employee and unleashed hell's wrath on her. This is absurd. You're all acting like idiots. Your whole system is stupid. Corruption thrives here. Do you even know who I am? You don't want to mess with me, girl. Call your manager. Now. I didn't do anything. I paid for my drink and I'm not leaving. I'll sit here and drink it, as I have every right to, and you can't do anything to stop me. While the demon continued her rage fit, I glanced at the stoic barista. She blinked heavily, and for a moment I thought she might cry. But then I realized this battle-hardened warrior was just holding back an eye roll. She met my gaze and gave a subtle nod toward the exit. After years on the front lines of customer hell, she'd handle it herself. The crowd of onlookers parted like the Red Sea, letting me through to the door. As I nearly reached the exit, Beelzebub suddenly realized her prey was escaping and yelled, "Hey, where is she going?" She can't just leave. Someone stop her. I said she has to wait. What's wrong with all of you? Make this little bitch come back and wait her turn. I flipped her off and squeezed through the back door just as the bell at the front rang and security walked in. Beelzebub's righteous tirade immediately shifted. Now she appealed that she had every right to be there, that she hadn't broken any rules and wouldn't be thrown out. How dare they call security? She demanded her money back, a free matcha, and an apology right now. She punctuated her shrieks with palm slams on the counter. The indignant squeals of entitlement gradually turned into muffled chaos behind the closed door. I headed to my well-deserved therapy session, holding my cold brew like a trophy. I'd like to think security dragged Beelzebub out of the coffee shop kicking and screaming, though I suspect with her primness, she quickly regained her composure and sailed out looking like an offended aristocrat, no doubt muttering about her lawyer. Meanwhile, I savored this delightful pumpkin-spiced madness, imagining somewhere floors below, a venti soy matcha, very hot with 2 pumps of vanilla, cooling on the counter, and the decaffeinated Beelzebub raging in her luxurious office. With that image, every sip tasted even sweeter. I honestly think I'm the most easygoing person in the world. If someone has a problem with me, I usually just brush it off and walk away. I never know how to stand up for myself. Yeah, it's tough being me, but this time I actually did something. It was the last day of our trip to Disneyland, and it was our first time there during the seasonal Halloween event. Our previous visit was 11 years ago, so I wanted everyone to have the maximum fun. One of my mom's main wishes was to meet Jack Skellington and take a photo with him. We tried multiple times, but with little kids, it's almost impossible. On Wednesday, I was with the baby, and we'd just come off Pirates of the Caribbean for the 3rd time in a row. I saw Jack passing by. I checked the app. Sure enough, his photo session was in 20 minutes. I thought, what luck. I called my mom, who was with the other kids in Toontown, and told her to come over. It was a 10-15-minute walk from there, so I figured it was no big deal to get in line early. I approached the line and talked to the park employee. Let's call her Abby. She was really nice, a blonde with a braid. I asked if this was the line for photos with Jack. She said yes, but I needed to leave the stroller by the fence a few steps away. No problem. I picked up the sleeping baby and got in line. There were 2 women in front of me, chatting with each other and occasionally exchanging a few words with Abby. To make sure I wasn't breaking any rules, I asked Abby, "Is it okay if I hold a spot in line for my family who will join later for the photo?" Abby said, "Of course, as long as at least one person is in line, the whole family can join." Great, I just didn't want the line to look longer and have the meet and greet close early, since there could be 9 of us in one photo. Then Abby said the wait would be about half an hour. At that point, I was the last in line. A woman approached, let's call her Karen, and asked Abby about the line. She confirmed it was for Jack and added that she needed to park her double stroller in the same spot where I left mine. Behind me was an elderly man, and she got in line behind him. This is important. I was paying close attention to everything because I'd have to explain to my mom where I was standing. A few minutes later, the 2 women in front of me left. I stepped forward to take their spot and ended up right behind a family of 3, dad, mom, and daughter. Let's call them the Curious family. Mom texted that she was nearby and couldn't find me. I FaceTimed her for a couple of minutes, and since the line curved around a pillar, I had my back to it for a bit. When I turned around, I was again right behind the Curious family. That's when the fun started. Karen suddenly stepped forward and loudly accused me in front of everyone of cutting the line. "Excuse me, were you even in line? Because I don't remember you behind this family." She had been 2 people behind me, with the elderly man behind me. I calmly but firmly replied, "I've been in line this whole time." She turned to the man. "Was she in front of you?" "Because I remember you were behind this family." He didn't want to get involved and just shrugged, not confirming I had been in front of him. "Whatever," I repeated. "Like I said, I've been here the whole time." "Ask the employee." Karen paused for a second, but I knew it wasn't over. I brushed it off and laughed when my sister Jay arrived, while Mom stayed with the little ones. I told her I'd just been accused of cutting and laughed at how absurd it was, but Karen decided to escalate. She dragged over another employee. Let's call her Tracy. Tracy looked like she just wanted to end this quickly and not deal with adults acting like kids. Karen pointed at me, loudly explaining that I'd cut the line. My sister, who loves arguing when she's right, jumped in immediately. A back and forth started between her, Karen, and Tracy. Tracy suggested I leave the line. My sister and I said almost in unison, "No." My sister added, "Fine. Even if we can't stand together, at least let her stay in her spot." By now, people were pointing at us, whispering, and the Curious family was muttering in Spanish that I hadn't been behind them. Mom still didn't understand what was going on, so I called her again while the line moved forward. I asked my 9-year-old niece to stand next to me. I was terribly embarrassed by all the stares. I spoke in Spanish so Karen and the Curious family could hear, telling Mom, "Don't worry, I see the employee I talked to earlier. I'll talk to her. She definitely remembers me." The Curious family kept staring, and my niece was getting uncomfortable. I calmed her and said to ignore it. Finally, the Curious family was at the very front, and I was right behind them. I turned to Abby. "Hi, sorry, I hope you remember me. I was bugging you with questions earlier." She smiled. "Of course. When it's your turn, your family can join you." Mom and the Curious family immediately chimed in, but she actually cut the line because she wasn't behind us. Karen jumped in too. "Yes, she really cut the line." Abby looked at me, then at them, and firmly said, "No, I already talked to this girl earlier. She's been in line the whole time. I remember her." My sister then turned to the Curious family. "What does it even matter to you? You're in front of her. This only concerns people behind." so stay out of it." They shut up immediately. Then Tracy tried to intervene again and accuse me, but Abby clearly repeated, "No, I talked to this girl. I even walked her to the line myself. She's been here for half an hour." After that, Karen, the curious family, and Tracy went silent. Abby even leaned down to my baby, who had just woken up. "Oh, he finally woke up. Probably can't wait to meet Jack." I finally called Mom over, and we all got our photo. It felt amazing to stand up for myself for the first time. I made sure to speak loudly so everyone in line could hear. I savored the moment to the fullest. I hope that Abby knows how grateful I am for that day. Too bad I can't remember her real name. If any of you know a girl fitting that description, pass on my thanks. A while back, I ordered shawarma through an app and got a notification that it was ready to pick up. I didn't know where to get the finished shawarma. I arrive at the spot. There's a girl serving a customer. She's basically silent, waiting for some processes to finish at the register or whatever. I don't know. I approached and asked, "Can I pick up the shawarma?" She just stays silent. It was really unpleasant because I'd ordered it long ago. It was ready, but I didn't know where to get it. In the end, I waited until she finished with those customers, asked if I could pick up the shawarma. She hands it to me. I say, "You could have answered right away." She says, "Don't you see I'm serving customers?" The logic is really strange. It was my first time at this spot. I don't know where to pick up a ready, paid product, and you can't just answer. You're stingy with words. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Maybe you think the girl is completely right and there's no need to butt in when she's serving customers? I'd love to know your opinion because, like in the first story, in some places, ready products are often on a separate counter or you just ask and they give it to you quickly without the line. So the situation might seem ambiguous to some.